On the border of Norvania, Suzanne York was shocked to learn that her brother had sold her off for $100,000 to cover his gambling debts. Technive was a high-tech area that was a hotbed of criminal activity. It was known for scams, human trafficking, organ trading, and violence. People there didn't care about human life. Suzanne's beauty had caught the eye of criminals, who tried to force her to sell her body. Suzanne fought back with all her might, only to receive relentless beatings in return, leaving her clothes torn and her body bruised. Overwhelmed by pain, she finally thought of her husband, Nathan Morrison. "Please don't touch me. I can get my husband to give you as much money as you want. Please." Suzanne sobbed as she refused for the last time. One of the criminals' jobs was to demand ransoms. The leader of the group, Ken, halted his men's attacks. He grabbed a phone and handed it to Suzanne. "Tell your husband to bring $20 million. Anything less than that, and you'll have to serve all of us before selling your body for us." A shiver ran down her spine as she shook from terror. She had admired Nathan from afar for 3 years before they had finally gotten married a month ago. Would a man who had never spent any time with her be willing to sacrifice $20 million for her? "Okay," she replied weakly. At this point, Nathan was her last hope. She called Nathan. Soon, the call connected, but a woman's voice answered instead. "Hello? Who's this?" Suzanne's heart immediately sank. She sat up painfully and pleaded urgently. "I'm Suzanne, Nathan Morrison's wife. Can you please let me talk to him?" The other woman drawled. "Nate's taking a nap right now. You can just talk to me." Suzanne felt a sharp pang in her chest. "Please pass the phone to Nathan right now." The other woman changed the subject angrily. "Suzanne, don't think that marrying Nate actually gives you a right to act like his wife. I know you used his grandmother to force him to marry you. I'm the one he loves, yet you broke us apart." The woman hissed. "Nate would never pay attention to a shameless whore like you. You deserve to live a lonely life." Suzanne turned pale, feeling as though her heart had been crushed. Just then, she faintly heard Nathan's gentle voice. "Who is it, Sally? A scam call?" Sally Hoffus ended the call hurriedly. Immediately, laughter rang out among the men surrounding Suzanne. "Your husband already has someone else. Forget sending money to rescue you. I doubt he even cares about you." Suzanne hadn't known that Nathan was in love with someone else. She had foolishly pined after him for 3 years. She'd had no idea that Nathan's grandmother had lied about him marrying her out of love. It turned out that she had broken a couple apart. Suzanne slowly closed her eyes, and tears trickled down her pale cheeks. The physical pain she felt was nothing compared to how her heart was aching. Suddenly, one of the men asked nervously, "Say, about the name she said earlier. Her husband can't be the leader of the Norvanian military, can he?" Everyone in Norvania knew who Nathan Morrison was. During the fiercest time in the Middle Eastern conflict, he had led his army to rescue innocent civilians who had been left homeless by the onslaught and destroyed every enemy who had stood in his way. Nathan had bravely forged a path through bloodshed to fight off their country's enemies. Ken recalled that Nathan had fought in the Middle Eastern War, and had come to be considered a national hero after he had defeated all his enemies. How could the fragile woman before them be his wife? "Don't worry about it. Nathan Morrison is a fearsome man. No idiot would dare to sell his wife. From what I know, he's still single." Unfazed, Ken reassured his men. "I bet her husband just has the same name as him. Keep calling her husband until he brings $20 million. Ken's men kept trying to contact Nathan. Devastated, Suzanne slumped into a corner and closed her eyes in despair. Some time passed before a deafening boom resounded, shaking the ground. Suzanne shuddered and opened her eyes. The men in the room, who had been playing cards while waiting for the money, were alarmed. Someone from the outside cried anxiously, "We're in trouble. Someone blasted our gate apart." "Blasted?" Ken exclaimed, terrified. "Who did it?" It's the military. TVE surrounded us." The other man replied shakily as he pointed upward. "There were also 2 military helicopters." "You mean the military that fought in the Rugria state conflict? We're in deep shit." Ken yanked Suzanne up and snarled. "Is your husband the leader of the Norvanian military?" Suzanne nodded weakly. Ken immediately regretted his choice and quickly held her hostage at gunpoint. Outside, dozens of military vehicles surrounded the building. Hundreds of imposing but calm soldiers stood at attention, armed with the latest weaponry and combat gear at the same time. 2 fighter jets circled above them, and armed snipers kept their guns aimed at their targets. The grand scene and immense pressure made some of the criminals cower in fear and surrender immediately. Ken, who held Suzanne hostage, roared, "Let me go or I'll kill her." A car door somewhere at the back of the military vehicles opened, and a domineering man stepped out. The rugged yet handsome man wore a black combat suit that made him seem even more powerful. He had an icy demeanor, which chilled everyone around him. As soon as Suzanne saw the man, her eyes lit up, and her heart began to pound rapidly. It was Nathan. Nathan shot them a piercing look and commanded coldly, "Release her." Trembling like a leaf, Ken stammered, "I had no idea she's your wife, General. I'll release her if you let me go." Nathan's icy eyes had never once landed on Suzanne. Instead, he slowly raised his gun and aimed it at Ken. In a chilling voice, Nathan simply said, "If she dies, so will you. 7 bullets are more than enough to kill you."